21st session of Graduate Scholar Talk series organized by History Society Saksha in collaboration with IQAC Shamlal College Evening. I am Sristi Rana, currently pursuing my graduation from Banaras Hindu University, and it is both an honor and a privilege to serve as the moderator for today's session. The Graduate Scholar Talk series, launched on 7 February 2021 under the visionary guidance of Dr. Manish Karambar, but began as a modest academic initiative during the pandemic. Over the years, it has grown into a nationally recognized platform that brings together students, researchers, and scholars from diverse disciplines. Today, after the successful completion of 280 sessions, GSTS proudly celebrates 5 remarkable years of pursuing academic excellence and enters its 6th year with the same commitment to intellectual curiosity and meaningful dialogue. GSTS has consistently provided young scholars with a platform to present their research, exchange perspectives, and develop confidence through academic discourse. More than just a lecture series, it has evolved into a vibrant community that nurtures learning, collaboration, and critical thinking. We are equally proud that this initiative has been recognized 3 times by Doordarshan, featured in the Times of India. Our live broadcast was conducted under the G20 Changemaker Summit. Our collaboration with several academic institutions across the country further reflect the growing reach and credibility of this initiative. At this moment, I would like to acknowledge our founder and advisor, Dr. Manish Karambar, along with our dedicated moderators, Mr. Ajay, Mr. Shubham, Mr. Ankit, Mr. Shailendra, Mr. Saurabh, Ms. Manvi, Ms. Samriddhi, and Mr. Manthan, whose unwavering commitment continues to shape the success of GSTS. On behalf of the entire GSTS family, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our respected principal, Professor Nachiketa Singh, for his constant encouragement and support. I also express my sincere appreciation to the IQAC convener, Dr. Pramod Kumar Dwivedi, for his valuable guidance and cooperation. My special thanks also go to the GSTS convener, Dr. Pramod Kumar, whose meticulous coordination ensures the smooth conduct of every session. Now, it is my great pleasure to introduce our esteemed guest of honor, Dr. Anita Sani. Dr. Anita Sani is an accomplished assistant professor of Spanish in the Department of Germanic and Romance Studies at the University of Delhi, with over 20 years of teaching experience. She holds a master's degree in Hispanic Studies and MPhil and is currently pursuing her PhD on memory and conflict in literature. She has also earned a PhD in Buddhist studies, reflecting her interdisciplinary academic interest. Dr. Sani has presented and published research on themes such as memory, trauma, ecology, translation, and Spanish language teaching, making significant contribution to the field of language and literary studies. Beyond academic, she is a poet who writes in Spanish and Hindi and enjoys oil and acrylic painting. Ma'am, we are deeply honored by your gracious presence today. I now request you to formally inaugurate today's session by sharing your inaugural remarks and granting us permission to begin. Please, ma'am. Ma'am, you are mute.
Thank you, Srishti, and good evening, everyone. I would like to thank Dr. Manish Karambar for inviting me to this platform GSTS series 281. I want to say a few words on Sarnath, a place that is an epitome of knowledge. Before we start, I would like to draw your attention to where we are today. Today, we live in an incredibly loud world, bombarded by notifications, deadlines, traffic, and the constant pressure to achieve more, do more, and be more. The desire for greed is never ending, and our peace is at stake. Sometimes it is so tiring that we often find ourselves asking a fundamental human question: where can we find real peace? Peace lies within us. We need to dig into our historical legacies, into Buddhist philosophy. There is a hope. There is a place that didn't use armies or weapons to change the world, but instead use an idea to seek wisdom. That place is Sarnath, a sanctuary of profound quietness. It is a place where human history awakened with the Buddha's enlightenment, and from here, his universal truth, spread throughout the world. It is very strange to share my personal experience, my encounter with Buddhism in my childhood. That I used to draw Buddha in my childhood, inspired by Jataka stories. I set out to seek peace whenever I find myself in any difficulty. Therefore, I was very much influenced by the story of Siddhartha Gautama, the man who became the Buddha after years of intense searching, self-starvation, and meditation. He finally found enlightenment under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya. From there, he started his journey to disseminate his teachings and came to Sarnath to reveal the truth to his ascetic friends. In his very first sermon in Sarnath, Buddha delivered that suffering is real. We all feel grief, loss, and anxiety. But there is a way to get rid of all pains by practicing an everyday roadmap called the Eightfold Path. He told them to choose the middle way to avoid extreme self denial, but also to avoid being trapped by greed. That's self indulgence. It was a revolutionary approach at the time, and it remains true even today when we find it difficult to deal with life. It is a gentle, realistic approach as suggested by the great teacher, the Buddha. Lost for centuries, Sarnath's excavations created a global space for scholars worldwide. I want to share my experience as a Buddhist scholar. My research work is on deep ecology from a Buddhist perspective. It's easy to look at our planet today and feel a deep sense of guilt, anxiety, and helplessness. We have to understand that nature doesn't exist to serve human beings. And the trees, rivers, and animals that inhabit it have a right to exist simply because they are alive. To understand the very nature of the earth, we have to delve into 2,500 years of history in a quiet forest in India, namely Sarnath, where his teachings are being disseminated in every direction, as if appealing to all human beings to ponder over their desires. The Buddha's journey from a luxurious palace to Sarnath after his enlightenment in this wild forest, he gave his first sermon not only to his ascetic friends, but also spoke to all humans witnessed by nature itself. By choosing the setting, the Buddha was making a radical statement that perfectly mirrors deep ecology. Humans are not masters of the universe. We are equal members of a massive, beautiful web of life. So that is called dependent origination. We have to understand this term, dependent origination. Nothing exists in isolation. Everything lies on everything else to survive. So now I invite today's speaker, Pavni Bhargava, to share her thoughts on Sarnath. Over to you, Pavni.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your inspiring words and for formally inaugurating today's session. Now, I would like to introduce the speaker for the 281st GSTS session, Ms. Pavni Bhargav, a graduate scholar from Mata Sundri College for Women, University of Delhi. This is Ms. Pavni's second appearance on the GSTS platform. She previously delivered an insightful presentation on photography and visual archives during the 225th GSTS session. It was highly appreciated by the audience. We are delighted to welcome her back again. Today, she will be presenting her talk on the topic Sarnath, the first light of Dharma. Sarnath occupies a unique place in world history as a sacred site where Lord Buddha delivered his first sermon after attaining enlightenment, setting in motion the wheel of Dharma. It stands as a symbol of wisdom, compassion beyond and beginning of one of the world's greatest philosophical traditions. Today's presentation promises to offer valuable insight into the historical, cultural, and international significance of Sarnath, along with its relevance in the contemporary world. Without further delay, I warmly invite Ms. Pavni Bhargava to deliver her presentation. Over to you, Pavni.
Thank you, Srishti. So, I am Pavni Bhargav, a student of multidisciplinary program from Mata Sundri College for Women. Thank you to the guest of honor for taking her time to listen this talk, and thank you to the GSTS platform for again considering me for this opportunity. So, let's begin with the objectives for this talk. To first, the objective will be the understanding the historical and religious significance of Sarnath in the development of Buddhism. Secondly, examining the life events that led Gautam Buddha to deliver his first sermon at Sarnath. Third, to explore the artistic and cultural heritage of Sarnath, which are the stupas, Buddha sculptures, and the lion capital. Fourth, present day importance of Sarnath as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a center of historical tourism. Concluding the talk, I'll be putting forth my ideology regarding the same, which were drawn from the experiences I gained after working upon this topic. Now, coming to why I have chosen this topic. So, I have pursued my graduation in history and the classes of history, art, and architecture throughout my college journey have always fascinated me to gain more knowledge about them and in more details. And Buddhism as a religion and philosophy has always attracted me, and that's all made me to here with the topic of Sarnath, the first light of Dharma. Let's begin with the introduction. Sarnath is the place where Buddha first shared his teachings, leaving an imprint on humanity, which is situated at a distance of 8 kilometers from Varanasi. And it is the place where Buddha first preached his sermon. कुछ बुद्धिस्ट लिटरेचर में ऐसा माना जाता है मृगदया या मृगदवा के नाम से भी जाना जाता था, जिसका मतलब है कि herds of deer were roamed here freely as they were granted immunity by the king. And कुछ दूसरे sources में ऐसा माना जाता है कि Sarnath is derived from the word Saranganath, which translates to Lord of the Deer. सारनाथ सबको पता है कि बुद्धिज्म के लिए एक सेक्रेट प्लेस तो है ही, बट जैन्स के लिए भी एक सेक्रेट प्लेस मानी जाती है. And it is believed that Shriyan Santha, the 11th Tirthankar of Jainism, was born here at Singapore. And the four most important pilgrimages are the Lumbini, which is the birthplace of Gautam Buddha, Bodh Gaya, the location of Lord Buddha's enlightenment, Sarnath, where he delivered the first sermon, and lastly the Kushinagar, which is the location of Buddha's Mahaparinirvan. Sarnath has long been considered as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it is also believed to be a revered pilgrimage destination by Buddhists worldwide. Next up is the history of Sarnath. It is the place where legends come alive, and each tale deepening the sense of mystique that surrounds this sacred site. Around 5th century BC, a young prince named Siddharth Gautam was the son of Shuddhodana and Maya, hailing from Lumbini, started a journey of self-discovery. His life had been one of privilege and seclusion, but a chance encounter with illness, and that prompted him to seek liberation from human sufferings. एक फेमस स्टोरी है बुद्धा की जो मोस्टली सबको पता रहती है. He was 29 years old when the Siddharth saw four things which shattered his composure, which was an old man, second a sick man, third was a corpse, and a renunciant. The first three scenes brought him to the heart of old age, sickness, and death, while the fourth pointed to the way with dealing with these inevitabilities. सिद्धार्थ अपना घर छोड़ देते हैं, अपनी फैमिली छोड़ देते हैं, एंड 6 साल तक सेल्फ सीकनेस और लिबरेशन के लिए जाते हैं. After years of seeking truth, the Bodhi tree at the Buddha temple Bodh Gaya and vowing not to rise until he found his answers. It was beneath this tree he achieved enlightenment, and the world would come to know him as the Buddha. But the real question is, why did he choose Sarnath only to deliver his first sermon? कुछ बुद्धिस्ट टेक्स्ट हमें बताते हैं कि उन्होंने सबसे पहली बार 5 डिसाइपल्स को अपने सरमन दिया था, अपनी टीचिंग्स बताई थी, जिनका नाम है कौंडिन्या, असाजी, बहादिया, वापा एंड महानामा, who had accompanied Buddha on his journey of asceticism and later abandoned him, had settled in Sarnath. And so Buddha, when gained enlightenment, he felt that they should be the first to know what he learned. And so he proceeded to Sarnath and preached his teachings there for the first time. Buddha's teaching came to be known as Dharma Chakra Parivartana, the turning of the wheel of law. Impressed by his newfound wisdom and his teaching on the 4 noble truths, these 5 individuals became his first 5 disciples, and the seeds of Buddhism were sown in Sarnath. Now, what's the present context and why are we even talking about Sarnath? Sarnath has long been considered as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is also believed to be a revered pilgrimage destination by Buddhists worldwide. It is one of the primary anchors of the Buddhist circuit, which attracts high volume of foreign tourists and pilgrims from nations where Buddhism is central to national identity. The teachings of Buddha on non-violence, compassion, tolerance, and the middle path remain relevant in today's world also. Next is the very crucial element of the relations worldwide, which is very important to have in the current context of geopolitical tensions all around the world. The concept is known as soft power diplomacy. Soft power एक बहुत ही क्रूशियल एलिमेंट होता है डिप्लोमेसी का, जो हम लोग IR इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस में भी पढ़ते हैं, एंड इट इज द एलिमेंट दैट रिलाइज ऑन इंटेंजिबल हेरिटेज एंड कल्चर rather than कि कोई कोर्सिव मीन्स या फोर्स के द्वारा या वॉर के द्वारा हम डिप्लोमेटिक अलायंसेस या डिप्लोमेसी कर रहे हैं. So it serves as a valuable tool for nations to engage with one another and fostering positive relationships and gaining attention. Now, India is one of the policy makers, and India's Act East policy, in which Sarnath is one of the primary anchors of Buddhist circuit, which attracts high volume of foreign tourists and pilgrims from nations where Buddhism is central to national identity, such as Japan, Thailand, Myanmar, and Sri Lanka. Promoting Sarnath helps foster mutual goodwill and diplomatic friendships with the trade units such as ASEAN and East Asian countries. Now, countering the geopolitical influence, Sarnath is very important. By prominently featuring sites like Sarnath in official state visits, such as during the International Buddhist Conclave, India projects a shared pan-Asian identity rooted in peace and non-violence. This acts as a vital tool in soft balancing the countering the politico-economic investments of competitors like the mighty China. Next is, it is an important center for peace and interfaith dialogue. Sarnath hosts international Buddhist conferences, mediation retreats, interfaith dialogues, and promote peace, harmony, and mutual understanding among different cultures and religions. It is also one of the most educational and research center. It attracts historians, archaeologists, students, researchers from around the world. And its archaeological museum houses the sculptures, inscriptions, artifacts from different historical periods. Sarnath also helps in promotion of tourism and local economy. It is also a major tourist destination that contributes significantly to the local economy. Religious tourism also encourages the preservation of traditional arts, culture, crafts, and heritage. Now, coming to the sculpture part and the stupas part at Sarnath. First is the Dhammaik Stoop, which can be, as we can see in the photo, it was excavated by Alexander Cunningham. In fact, all the three stupas which we can see in the photos, all were excavated by Alexander Cunningham. The Dhammaik Stoop is considered to mark the location of Buddha's first teaching, and many scholars believe that the stupa is the name of the combination of two words, which is first is the Dharma, second is the Chakra, which means turning the wheel of Dharma. Next is the Dharmarajika Stoop, which is one of the few pre-Ashokan stupas remaining at Sarnath. And although only the foundation remains, it has been to the subject of extensive depredations and archaeological excavations. Last is the Chaukhandi Stoop, and it is outside the Deer Park, which commemorates the place where Buddha reunited with his first 5 disciples. As we can see in the photo, it is capped with an octagonal tower that was erected as a memorial to Emperor Humayun by his son Akbar in 1588 CE. Now, coming to the Ashoka's contributions, he was the great Mauryan emperor, lived about 200 years after the Buddha's Nirvana, and he is very famous for the zeal with which he spread the message of Buddhism. His very famous magnificent lion capital is at Sarnath, and it is carved from a single block of highly polished chunar stone. And later, जैसा कि हम सबको पता है, it became the state emblem of India, and it is the national symbol on the flag of India. Ashoka also raised several other monuments at Sarnath, including the Dharmarajika Stoop, and coincidentally, in 1794, it was of Banaras. And during the reign of Mauryan Emperor Ashoka, Buddhism truly blossomed in Sarnath. Ashoka filled the remorse for his brutal conquest of Kalinga and converted to Buddhism and embraced non-violence. Ashok ने सारे coercive means को छोड़ दिया था, and as we can say, he adopted soft power diplomacy. He passionately championed the religion, erecting stupas and pillars across India. The most iconic of these is one in Sarnath, which bears the Ashok Chakra, symbolizing the essence of Buddhist teachings. The Ashok Chakra is also present in our Indian flag. And later, with advent of Kushans in India, Buddhism entered a new phase of religious and artistic activity. Mathura became the center for Buddhism Renaissance. Coming to the sculptures of Buddhas is present at Sarnath, and it is one of the probably the greatest single achievement of the Indian sculptor. They are mostly widely disseminated and continue to influence Buddha representations in Eastern India and far beyond Southeast Asia for centuries. First is the standing Buddha. As we can see in the photo, the historian also writes, Susan Huntington is the historian. She says that each central Buddha stands in the Abhanga posture with a slight flexion to the body. जैसे कि हम फोटो में देख सकते हैं, बुद्धा का एक पैर थोड़ा सा नीज की तरफ बेंड हुआ है, and he is standing in the Abhay Mudra. The form appears to be rhythmic and natural, and इस feature इस बुद्धा का standing बुद्धा का most prominent feature है, which is the treatment of the drapery, the way he is dressed. And next is the seated Buddha. Dating around 475 AD is a representation of a seated Buddha that is the epitome of the both high style of the late 5th century at Sarnath and the Buddhological message of Sarnath itself. It is the first preaching of the Sakya Muni Buddha at the Deer Park. जिस मुद्रा में वह बैठे हैं, जैसा कि हम फोटो में देख सकते हैं, this mudra इसको बोला जाता है धर्म चक्र परिवर्तन मुद्रा, and which is the setting of the wheel of law in motion, wherein both hands are held and touch each other at the chest level. And जो halo हमें फोटो में दिखाई देता है, which is very beautifully ornamented, and again The author and the historian writes, Susan Huntington writes, that it also depicts the depicting the scene of first sermon are the pair of deer flanking the wheel and the disciples to whom Sakyamuni preached in the panel beneath the main figure. The throne ke niche also, it is the representation of winged lion creatures, which is known as sardulas, supporting the makar ends of the crossbar, and later presumably auspicious symbols. And throne ke niche there is a chakra, which is flanked with monks with hands folded in veneration. Now, coming to later discoveries and the recent also, it is Fayan, which is way back, and who was a Chinese extensively throughout northern India from 400 to 411 CE. वे अपने डिस्क्रिप्शन में फाहियान बताता है कि he saw 4 large towers and 2 viharas with monks residing in them. Next is the British Army engineer with his army all around. The name is Alexander Cunningham. He came and who later became the founder and the Director General of the Archaeological Survey of India. He conducted the very first systematic and archaeological excavation at Sarnath. The recent and the last major excavation was done by Dayaram Sahani in 1921 and 22, where he exposed the structures between the Dhamek Stup and the main shrine, and the decorated brick stupa and the subterranean passage to the west of Monastery 1 up to the west of Monastery 2. And lastly, concluding my talk, presently, Sarnath uncovered treasures from the past at Sarnath Museum, which is featuring archaeological artifacts and Buddhist sculptures from earlier eras as an insight into a bygone era. Sarnath continues to be a living symbol of India's rich cultural and spiritual heritage. Its monuments, archaeological treasures, educational significance, and universal message of peace make it one of the most important cultural heritage sites. By preserving and promoting it, India not only safeguards its own civilizational legacy, but also a heritage that belongs to all humanity. And we must not forget our history and our past to safeguard the present and also the future. So, thank you for listening my talk so patiently. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pavni, for such a thoughtful and engaging presentation. You have beautifully traced Sarnath's journey from being the birthplace of the Buddha's first sermon to becoming a powerful symbol of India's cultural heritage and soft diplomacy. The way you connected its historical legacy with contemporary international relations and recent developments offered us a fresh and meaningful perspective. It was truly an informative and enriching session. We sincerely appreciate your efforts and congratulate you on such a remarkable presentation. We shall now open the floor for the question and answer session. Okay, so first question. Can the principal first priest at Sarnath offer solutions to contemporary social conflicts? I repeat, can the principal first priest at Sarnath offer solution to contemporary social conflicts? Pavni?
Uh, I guess yes. And it's a very new question and an innovative question. And I think, yes, it also opens the door for Sarnath, because it is also that, just like I said, it acts as a very important tool to preserve the India's cultural heritage. And most importantly, जो आज के टाइम में चल रहा है, जो वॉर चल रही है, उसके टाइम के लिए हमें कल्चरल हेरिटेज को बचाना इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड इट इज वन ऑफ द crucial element for to have dialogue between the countries and having strengthening the soft power diplomacy.
Unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry. How can Sarnath be developed as a model of sustainable religious tourism?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Sure. How can Sarnath be developed as a model of sustainable religious tourism?
Okay, Sarnath can be developed as a modern day. It can be developed as an educational and cultural hub also, and wherein it attracts tourists from foreign places also, and it also encourages countries like Japan, Myanmar, and Thailand, which have common Buddhist linkages. India can also have interfaith dialogue and Buddhist conclave all around the world, uh, and we can have agreement on Buddhist teachings and make a educational hub and the modern hub of Sangha.
Okay, Pavni. So the question is, how does the concept of the Dharma Chakra Parivartan, means the turning of the wheel of Dharma, symbolizes a revolutionary shift in Indian philosophical thought?
Okay, so in this question, I must say that Buddhism is a very different religion and philosophy altogether. It is very different from the which is the conventional religion all across we see and we study. So Buddhism, as Buddha say, he also focused on four noble truths, the eightfold path, and many other things also. He was the most enlightened one also, and he focused on truth and non-violence. That's why it is said that he turns the law of motion. Sorry, he turns the wheel of law in motion, because he was the enlightened one and he gained already all the knowledge which he saw and which he knew that it is required to have a better world and to have a better law in coming the future generations. I hope I answered the question well.
Okay, very well answered, Pavni. So now the question is कि आपने कल्चरल की बात की, कल्चरल डिप्लोमेसी की बात की, सॉफ्ट पावर की बात की, तो what role does Sarnath play in India's cultural diplomacy and Buddhist diplomacy with Asian nations? इस पे आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
Sorry, I missed at the
Okay,
last part.
okay, I'll repeat it. What role does Sarnath play in India's cultural diplomacy and Buddhist diplomacy with Asian nations?
Okay, in Asian nations,
Yes.
as we have the international Buddhist conclaves and the places of Japan, Myanmar, I'm again repeating that only, and Sri Lanka, also the Thailand, which have common Buddhist linkages. Oh, with these countries, we can have more of a common and more of a civilizational legacy, because with these countries we resonate with them more in terms of Buddhism and more also in terms of the culture of the religious practices which they follow in terms of Buddhism only. That's why it is one of the most crucial, I would say, and also the most the need of the hour to have dialogues with the ASEAN countries which have the common Buddhist linkages.
ओके पावनी, आपने काफी सही कहा क्योंकि हम जब सारनाथ विजिट करते हैं तो वहां पे हमें काफी सारे हर देश के लोग हमें देखने को मिल जाते हैं क्योंकि वहाँ पे थाई मोनेस्ट्रीज है, जापानीज मोनेस्ट्रीज है, सो यस इट इज अ कल्चरल पूरा वहीं पे हमें देखने को मिलता है. इट इज अ हब ऑफ कल्चरल डिप्लोमेसी. ओके, सो लास्ट क्वेश्चन पावनी, दिस इज योर सेकंड टाइम ऑन जीएसटीएस. तो आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे जीएसटीएस के बारे में, लाइक फ्रॉम योर फर्स्ट टॉक से अभी तक आपको क्या चेंज लगा अपनी टॉक में, क्या इम्प्रूवमेंट, क्या सजेशंस देना चाहेंगे आप हमें?
Suggestions what I can give, but it is a very great platform, and since from my first talk to this talk, I must say that it is a very great opportunity to the students out there and to have their views to present on such a big platform. And I'm very thankful to the team who are already very helpful throughout my the first talk also and this talk also, it was never that game ki they will not be there. They are always there to help and guide us throughout the talk. And also the sir also gives us a very good advices to enhance our talks and learn from them.
थैंक यू पावनी फॉर योर काइंड वर्ड्स। ये आपने काफी सही कहा कि जीएसटीएस हमेशा रेडी है। अगर आपके पास आइडिया है, हमारे पास प्लेटफॉर्म है, आप आइए, हम जरूर सुनेंगे। थैंक यू।
Srishti, one of my intervention, Pavni. So how come we solve the contemporary issue? What's going on in regard of Sonam Wangchu and other things? How Buddhism resolve this issue, or any such idea? Uh, can you give us? Because one of my moderator told me, sir, why not will ask this question? So yes, any question we will entertain, and because we are living in India, so we can solve each and every problem. So what's your thought about this? How we solve? Because every every 5 years, 10 years, this kind of journaling came out. So what's your thinking? Is this democracy, or how we resolve this issue through the Buddhism?
So through Buddhism, because they also have common linkages as the people in Ladakh also, where the Sir Sonam Wangchuk comes from. Their people also follow Buddhism in large number, I would say. And they also must resolve the conflict between the government and him through dialogues only, because war wouldn't do the justice to his demand. They must come and they must listen to his demands. And through Buddhism, I don't think so that they would work, because the government is not much in Buddhism. But as a religion, they must revere the religion and its significance, because as I said, the Ladakhis and he's not fulfilled the earlier demands also. The government must seek dialogue with him and must fulfill his demands.
Dialogue is the most important thing.
Yes,
I think
yes.
continuous dialogue. Over to you, Srishti.
Okay, thank you, sir. I now once again respectfully invite our esteemed guest of honor, Dr. Anita Saini, to share her concluding remarks and reflection on today's discussion. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, Sisti, once again. Thank you, Pavni, for giving such an illuminating, enriching, and thoughtful paper. As Pavni pointed out in her research paper, Sarnath is an important place for Buddhists as well as for Jains. Sarnath reminds us that the middle way, living a life of balance, avoiding greedy overconsumptions, and practicing deep empathy is the ultimate way of life. Living in harmony with nature. That is very important in today's world. Sarnath has become a tourist destination, but it has remained a favorite center for researchers. Our archaeological findings of the stupas opened a great door for further research. India's great Emperor Ashoka's contributions are incredible, as they opened the door for India's wisdom to be exchanged with the rest of the world. My suggestion to Pavni is that if you can read that what Ashoka has had engraved in Brahmi script, then you will be able to go smoothly with your research. And the original sources always add something new to our perspective, right? Helping us to see their relevance in today's world.
Yes,
The connection between Sarnath and Emperor Ashoka is evident in the way Buddha's message spread across the world. He not only built monuments, established animal hospitals, and banned the slaughter of wildlife, but also contributed to Sarnath by planting thousands of shade-giving trees along dusty highways. On the top of his famous stone pillar at Sarnath, he carved his 4 magnificent lions and a wheel of light symbolizing peace spreading in all directions, as you have mentioned. These symbols are now our national pride. I would like to thank GSTS coordinators, the team, who provided a great platform for young researchers to share their views. My special thanks go to Dr. Manish Karamwar for involving me in such an academic pursuit. It is always a learning experience when we exchange our views. Dialogue is the ultimate way to go with the harmony in the nature and between people. We should continue, exchanging our thoughts with each other. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Your thoughtful observations and valuable guidance have added immense depth to today's session and will certainly inspire all of us. As we move towards the conclusion of today's program, I would now like to invite Ms. Kriti, who will be our speaker for next Sunday's GSTS session, to come forward and give us a brief introduction to the upcoming topic. Ms. Kriti,
A very pleasant evening to all of you. My name is Preeti and I'm currently pursuing my Bachelor of Sciences degree in Industrial Microbiology. I have always been fascinated by how microscopic organisms hold the power to solve some of humanity's greatest health challenges. And this passion inspired the topic I'll speak on next Sunday, the phase renaissance, rebirth of viral weapons against superbugs. During my talk, I'll explore the following key points. The first is the phase renaissance, how bacteriophages are experiencing a massive scientific rebirth to fight antibiotic-resistant superbugs. The next one is the precision advantages, how phages act as smart missiles that only destroy harmful pathogens while leaving our gut health completely unharmed. The third one is industrial and biotech applications, their immense potential beyond medicines, including food preservation, agriculture, and wastewater treatment. And the last one is challenges and future solutions, the regulatory hurdles, evolutionary challenges, and how modern biotechnology is scaling up fish production. The fish renaissance is such a beautiful example of looking back at nature's oldest biological system that can help us step forward into the future of medicine. I'm incredibly excited to share these microscopic marvels with all of you. Thank you.
thank you, Kriti, for that wonderful introduction. We eagerly look forward to your presentation next Sunday and wish you the very best. As we conclude the 281st session of Graduate Scholar Talk series, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest of honor, our speaker, the GSTS core team, and every participant whose presence and active engagement made today's session meaningful and memorable. With that, I now respectfully invite Dr. Manish Karamwar to deliver the formal closing remarks. Thank you all for joining us. Have a wonderful day ahead. So please.
Thank you, Srishti. Really, it's a wonderful evening uh, with the Sarnath and the coming is the science topic. So, really, I'm very thankful to speaker and the guest of honor that they have given us a wonderful idea. Before my concluding remarks, and I don't think so it's very appropriate concluding remarks, but I would like to invite a few of the participants to give their idea. The first in this line, I'll try to connect one of the scholar from history, Buddhist studies, and African study. I think Priti Meena, if you are hearing me, so give us some sense about the today's topic, Preeti, and after that, I would like to invite Dr. Akriti to give her idea. Preeti, over to you. आप यहाँ पे हैं प्रीति?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Can you repeat,
No,
sir? Actually,
no,
मेरा
no. It's
clap हो गया था.
no. It's not you. I'm talking about the Preeti. It's not Kriti. Preeti, are you here? Okay, no. So maybe she's busy somewhere. Dr. Akriti.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for inviting me. Sir, so congratulations to our speaker, Pavni. Well presented paper and because I'm associated with this platform since a long time. So I have also attended your other talk. So it is really, really good to see you on this platform to talk about such topics. And being coming from a Buddhist family, because my father adapted this religion, and I'm coming from Buddhist family. So since when I was a child, I used to sit in, we called it vandanas or dhamdeshanas when we used to offer our prayers to the Lord Buddha. So I, even in Buddhism, we can see, or when we read those primary sources, those texts of Buddhism, there are also many things which are added later. So there are also many misinterpretations of the Buddhist text as well. But I had this discussion with my father that why Sarnath and Bodh Gaya and Lumbini is so important for us, because it was a dream of my father to visit that place. And he had worked really hard, and last year he was able to visit that place, and he was also telling me that relevance and importance of that place and relevance of Buddhism in even in contemporary era. So, of course, it is a great philosophy and everything is there, but I feel that we are using it, or we tend to use it very conveniently. Whenever we think that we have those kind of traits like compassion, dialogue, as Pavni also said. So but sometimes we forgot our own culture, our own understanding, our own intellectual thinkings of the past. So I believe that these kind of talks are really important to have on these kind of platforms to get to know more about these kind of scenarios. And sir has already associated this with contemporary issue with Sonam Wangchu. So it is really important to discuss all these things. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Pavni.
Thank you, Akriti. Thank you, Akriti. And one of my good old friend, Mr. Kundan, is here. Mr. Kundan, over to you. Want to say something? Kundan, are you here? Are you
Hi,
listening?
hi, hello.
Uh,
Can
yes,
you hear
yes,
me?
Kundan. Yes, yes, yes. Loud and clear. Go
Okay,
ahead.
it was really fascinating listening to Pavni about Sarnath and Buddhism. We had uh, interaction with Buddhism for a very few little period, because we I think in my case, ancient India, we had encounters with Buddhism for only 1 year. But it was really marvelous listening to Pavni, and also understanding how we can use culture as a soft power. Pavni, I would also like to, and it's actually interesting to also understand or know how soft power itself has evolved. How Sarnath would have been used by Ashoka as a soft power himself, in many cases, and how Sarnath traveled throughout the period. I mean, the history of Sarnath must have traveled from ancient India to medieval India to where we are today. So that also would give us an interesting perspective to see how Sarnath itself has evolved as a metaphor of soft power. Uh, GSTS is a fantastic platform. It gives you an opportunity to interact, to communicate, to talk about your ideas, and also a holistic perspective of things that we might have missed. So obviously, best of luck to all of you, and best of luck to Professor Karma. It's really nice to connect again. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
and best of luck.
And Kundan was my good friend. We came together from a holy place called Patna to Delhi, and we had a good relation with the Buddhist Studies department also. So long
Yeah,
relation with the Buddhist Studies department, and Kundan is doing very good job. He's a publisher, editor, and when we talk last, I don't know, because he's a very versatile personality. So maybe he's when where he is, he's doing very good job. So thank you, Kundan, to
thank you so much.
connect to us, and thank you very much. So last and concluding remarks from my side, because uh, this world, we need some real sense of Sarnath Buddhism and a real philosophy. Just like Kundan just reiterated the thing that how the soft power. So every country use their past to become very strong in the soft power crisis. We know that what every then and now Iran and USA war it's glorifying like was anything. Like every next day they come on a table and the peace talk, and next day it was deconstructed. So through continuous peace, we can achieve all those ideas, because right now I'm into the African Studies Department, through the history to the African Studies Department, to the journey, just like a Buddhism to the international relations. So definitely these are the very powerful idea. These are not only monuments, not only a structure, but the philosophy of that era. That means the uh, in our research, we can reiterate that how the structure reflect the philosophy of that era, like Sarnath, like any time, the way first century, second century, third century AD, the structure reflect the philosophy of that time. So it's very important that the Sarnath or whatever the Buddhist monastery or other monasteries or the temples or the mosque or the gurdwaras, they reflect the philosophy of that time. Now I'm teaching Africa. So in African country, we are having good philosophy and philosophical understanding through the throughout their structures. A structure is really fascinate us, and that's why Sarnath is still relevant. So we sit together, that means Sarnath and Pavni and other younger scholars, and try to find out what happened with the Buddhist. Because when I went to one interview in Dharmsala, one of professor told me why that happened. The Buddhist, the whole Buddhist religion went out to India, not philosophy. So my answer is the same. Philosophy still remains. Yes, the intellectual persona, it's still not in India. The population or the population, Buddhist population, it's lowering down, but it's fine. Philosophy is still with us, because now these days, what we are doing, that we are connect the old philosophy to the international relations or to the each and every part. So thank you, Pavni, for giving us a wonderful, though your interaction is little less, 20 minutes of interaction. We need at least 30 minutes of research interaction, but it's fantastic. And Dr. Anita Sani, good old friend of mine, and she has just specialized with the Buddhist studies and now in the Department of Spanish. So it's a very good combination to have this kind of interdisciplinary approach, where we can find out very good ideas of several disciplines. So she has completed one PhD and now doing the second PhD in the art and literature. It's a really commendable. So thank you, Dr. Anita, for giving us a consent and your words towards the Buddhism and towards the this platform GSTS. So thank you very much. Though it's still we have 7 minutes time, so I don't want, this is not my lecture as usually everybody knows. So thank you very much, Samuel College evening. So still giving me this platform to continue this graduate scholar talk series. This is the 6th year we continuing with this GSTS. So thank you, principal Dr. Nachiketa Singh. IQAC in charge, Dr. Pramod Dwivedi, teacher in charge, Ajay Kumar, and senior teachers, Dr. Pramod Kumar, Dr. DN Singh, and other faculty members of the history, Dr. Akriti, and Dr. Bohidar, I think so, if I'm right, and all my research scholars from different department, my young graduate or undergraduate students, thank you very much for join this GSTS 281. And so next time we are going to listen at a different topic through the Kriti. So welcome to all in next Sunday also. And every time I send, if possible, join. So it's mean that yes, if possible, can join. Otherwise, if you are doing pressing work, then you continue. It's my generous idea that I messaged you people because I thought that little bit, little bit. Respect for this GSTS. That's why. Otherwise, if you are people are doing pressing work more than the GSTS, so kindly keep continuing that work. But if you have time, kindly join because every Sunday we are here. So thank you very much. Have a nice day. So I'm signing out. We'll continue in the next Sunday. And today is the World Cup final. So enjoy. And India is playing with England. Hope so we can win 3-1, 2-1 in the England and India one-day series. So thank you very much. These are and yes, SADC and BRICS is going on. So don't forget about the international relations also. Have a nice day. Take care. And yesterday it was the Mandela's birthday. Birthday, and he was a really fantastic person to be celebrated. So we had celebrated in our department also, and so many parts of Delhi also. So thank you very much. Have a nice day. Take care. Namaste.